Welcome back, brave souls, to Sinister Snapshots, where nightmares come to life and darkness lurks. Buckle up as we discover the origin of the horrors we've explored and the chilling secrets that started them all. Hold on to your shadows as Insidious, the last key, is sure to scare them off you. Kindly leave a thumbs up and subscribe to our dark adventures. The movie takes place in New Mexico in the year 1953, where Elise is a child with special abilities. As her mother puts the children to sleep, she gives Elise's brother, Christian, a whistle to blow when he is scared at night. Elise sees the soul of a little boy running around in the room, and she tries to talk to him. Elise's brother is hiding behind the covers on their bed when the boy appears behind him and blows his whistle. The parents hear their kid scream from downstairs, and their father hits Elise and locks her in the basement after she admits that she saw a ghost. In the dark basement, Elise hears the voice of a child speaking to her. It leads her to open a door that lets light through a keyhole. She picks up the key, which is lying nearby, and unlocks the door, setting a demon free. The demon's hand with keys on its finger crawls out and the key attaches to its thumb. The demon, known as Keyface, possesses Elise, making the house shake. Elise's mother comes to the basement where she finds Elise in front of the wall. A wire from the ceiling wraps around Elise's mother's neck and strangles her to death. Her father comes down and sees his wife's body. He rushes to it as Elise tearfully apologizes and he screams, "No!" A much older Elise wakes up suddenly from her nightmare. One day, Elise gets a call from a client named Ted who has been experiencing paranormal activity after moving into a new house. When he gives her his address, it turns out to be Elise's childhood home. She apologizes and rejects the case. That night, she explains to her assistants, Tucker and Specs, how terrible her childhood was and the demon she let into the world. The demon planned to use her abilities for mischievous intentions. However, after Ted's call for help, she decides to go and help. When they first arrive in Five Keys, New Mexico, Ted lets them in Elise's childhood house, and she sees that most of their things are still in the house. Elise can feel spirits everywhere, but she can't tell the good ones from the bad because there are too many of them. Ted explains that most of the paranormal activities happen in Elise's childhood bedroom. As a result, he hasn't opened or entered the room for 3 months. Elise looks around the room as she goes in with her assistants, but Ted remains at the door. That night, the men attach a camera to Elise, and she goes into her old room with a flashlight and a Bible. In the room, she finds her brother's whistle, which had gone missing the night of her mother's death. She sees a shadow under the door, and she follows it downstairs. Through the monitor, Elise, Tucker, and Specs see a pair of feet standing on a table. Elise keeps walking, and then they see a woman in front of Elise through the monitor. Elise can't see her, and she reaches her hand out. When her hand is almost touching the spirit, it disappears and then appears behind her. She steals the whistle and screams, "Help her!" Tucker and Specs run out to help, but Elise is fine and she informs them that she recognized the woman from her teenage years. A flashback then shows Elise as a teenager, cleaning the floor with her brother when they hear a noise. Elise checks the laundry room and sees the ghost. When her father comes in, he doesn't see the ghost and Elise begs him not to punish her, but he can't resist. Then she holds her father's face and he sees a vision of himself dying in the future. After that, she runs away from home and never returns. The next day, Elise and her assistants go to a cafe and she meets 2 young girls. A much older man comes in afterwards, and he turns out to be Elise's brother Christian and the father of the young girls. She tries speaking to him, but he is upset with her for abandoning him with their horrible father and he storms out. One of the girls apologizes for her father's behavior. Elise gives her the photograph of the whistle and asks her to give it to her father. That night, Elise tries to communicate with the woman's spirit. Elise asks who she met when she said, "Help her." In response, they hear the sound of a whistle coming from downstairs. They are led to the basement, and Elise notices the wall is the door she saw as a child. She gets the key from her room and unlocks it, revealing a girl chained to the wall. Tucker steps out, and Ted shows up pointing a gun at him. Ted is possessed by Keyface, and it kidnapped the girl while the woman's ghost had led them to her. Ted locks them in and goes to find Specs. Specs disarms Ted, and then pushes a bookcase on him, killing him. Afterwards, the police arrived and rescued the girl. The next day, while Elise is being interrogated, her brother goes to the house with his daughters in search of the whistle. During the interrogation, Elise sees the ghost of her niece Melissa behind the detective and she freaks out, startling him. At the same time, Melissa hears her father calling out to her from the basement, and getting there, she realizes that Keyface had lured her there using her father as a disguise. He attacks her and inserts a key finger in her throat, then he inserts another key finger into her heart. Elise arrives shortly after and they find Melissa's unconscious bloody body chained in the basement. After she's taken to the hospital, Melissa's sister Imogen confesses that she can see spirits as well, and she offers to help Melissa's soul. Elise goes through the red door into the further. Imogen searches for the red Bible, which Ted had held close. Elise believes that it can help them. In the basement, Elise sees something in the vent, and when Tucker takes it out, it turns out to be a nightgown. When Elise holds it, she sees a vision of the past. Her father had imprisoned a woman in the basement, and she had escaped, which was when Elise had seen her in the laundry room, believing her to be a ghost. Her father had actually seen the woman, but pretended not to, and after Elise ran away, he beat the woman to death. Her vision ends and Elise blames herself for the woman's death. She feels something, and when she looks, she sees a string from the gown tied to a suitcase in the pipes. Elise climbs in and opens the suitcase, and she sees the woman's bones and belongings. She apologizes for not helping her. She also finds more suitcases with other people's bones and belongings. As she opens one of the boxes, Keyface pops up, attacks her, and takes her into the further. She sees her younger self, who tells her that Keyface opens all the red doors. Keyface appears from behind and drags her away. Meanwhile, Elise's assistants take her unconscious body upstairs, and Imogen offers to go and help Elise. Tucker hypnotizes her, helping her with her astral projection. The woman's spirit appears and leads her to the red door and hands her a whistle. Then she says she can't go past that point. Elise wakes up in a prison where she reminisces about her horrible childhood. Keyface gives her a stick and asks her to take revenge on her father, which she does. After she hits him, Keyface is fed with her hatred for her father. Imogen finds her and snaps her out of it. Elise then realizes that her father wasn't a serial killer, but he was possessed by Keyface, who used his body to commit those atrocities just like with Ted. She snaps the cane and Keyface disappears. He appears shortly after with Melissa and Imogen chained. Elise offers her soul for theirs, but Keyface just hurts them. He moves to Elise, and as he tries to hurt her, her father blocks her and apologizes to her before disappearing. The demon attacks her again and inserts a key into her throat, locking her voice. As she tries to insert another finger key into her heart, Imogen throws the whistle at her, which Elise blows. Her mother appears and attacks Keyface, making him disappear. Elise apologizes to her mother for causing her death. Melissa is slowly dying, so they try to leave the further as fast as they can. Elise opens a red door and sees Dalton falling off a ladder in his attic. She moves to another door that leads to the hospital, and Melissa runs to her body and comes back to life. They open another door, which leads to the house, and before they enter, Elise's mother tells her to keep helping people with her gift. When they wake up, they rush to the hospital, and Elise returns the whistle to her brother. Elise returns home one night, and she sees a vision of Dalton and the red-faced demon looming over him, and she jerks awake. Just then, Lorraine calls her, asking for her help with Dalton. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification button so you don't get left behind as we explore the chilling world beyond ours.